जय राधा माधवा कुंज बिहारी जय राधा माधवा कुंज बिहारी जय गोपी जन वल्लभा गिरिवरधारी जय गोपी जन वल्लभा गिरिवरधारी यशोदनंदन ब्रजजन रंजन यशोदनंदन ब्रजजन रंजन यमुनतीरावनचारी यमुनतीरावनचारी जय राधा माधवा कुंज बिहारी जय राधा माधवा कुंज बिहारी जय गोपी जन वल्लभा गिरिवरधारी जय गोपी जन वल्लभा गिरिवरधारी यशोदनंदन ब्रजजन रंजन यशोदनंदन ब्रजजन रंजन यमुनतीरावनचारी यमुनतीरावनचारी जय राधा माधवा कुंज बिहारी जय राधा माधवा कुंज बिहारी हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्णा हरे 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 रामा राम राम हरे हरे Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Jaya Prabhupada. Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Jaya Prabhupada. Jayam Vishnupad Paramahamsa Parivrajacharya Astottara Satashvi Srimati His Divine Grace Srila Bhai Charanarvinda Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai Nantakoti Vaishnav Vrinda Ki Jai Gaur Premanande Hari Hari Bol. All glories to the assembled devotees. Krishna. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the lotus feet of Shri Guru and Shri Gauranga. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Jnana Timirandasya Gyananjana Shalakaya Chakshurul Militam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manubhistam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Swapadantikam. Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yutha Padakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sahagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhanvitamscha. He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namastute. Tapta Kanchana Gaurange Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Satadevi Pranamami Hari Priye Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prastaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Niti Namine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvisesha Sunyavadi Paschetha Dishatharine Vanchakalpa Tarubhyascha Kripa Sindhu Bevacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnaveyo Namo Namaha Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasari Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Ask Prabhu to sit on the chair. Ask him to sit on the chair. Yes, yes, sit on the chair. Hare Krishna. We continue our reading of the Transcendental Diary by His Grace Hari Sauri Prabhu. His Grace Hari Sauri Prabhu, disciple of Srila Prabhupada, was very fortunate. Sometime in 1975, November 1975, he was asked to serve Prabhupada or to assist for a few days. Somehow the servants were not around or whatever the case was, so he was asked to serve Prabhupada for 2 or 3 days. And this was in November 1975. And at that time he just had the presence of mind, and he thought it was such a rare opportunity to be in such close contact with Prabhupada that he went out and he bought a notebook. And at the end of his day, late at night, he would record everything that went on in the presence of Prabhupada in his notebook, because he felt he only had like 3 or 4 days, and maybe 10, 20 years later on he could read it and then he could remember his close association with Prabhupada. So this is how and later on, of course, he ended up being for over 2 years, I think from November 1975 to 1977 when Prabhupada left, he was the personal servant of Prabhupada. So every night he would record in his diary the events that took place, Prabhupada's words, the philosophy that Prabhupada spoke, the comments that Prabhupada made on current issues, things like that. And this is how, we probably have 4 volumes of the Transcendental Diary. So we're very grateful to His Grace Hari Sauri Prabhu, and for sharing that with us. So today we're reading Volume 3, Chapter 1, and we continue with Prabhupada in New Vrindavan, West Virginia, which is the first farm community in ISKCON, and it was started by the early devotees from New York, who found this property in West Virginia, in the hills of West Virginia. And Prabhupada first visited there around 1969. And now we're in 28 June 1976 when Prabhupada is once again there. Because this whole chapter is basically of Prabhupada in New Vrindavan. So June 28, 1976. This morning, Kirtananda Maharaj arrived in his pickup to drive Srila Prabhupada up to the original New Vrindavan farm where the community first started. Srila Prabhupada sat in the cab while the devotees scrambled up into the back or ran up the trail after it. It was a long and bumpy drive up the dirt road. And afterwards, Srila Prabhupada complained about heart strain. So I was fortunate when I visited New Vrindavan farm 10 years ago. We went on a trail from the current new temple to this original temple. And it's like in the fields and beautiful little lakes or streams, ponds, and yeah, but it's like as we read here, it was it's like a dirt road. So it was I can imagine when we're reading this. So he had Kirtananda stop some distance from the house and walked the rest of the way, accompanied by 20 or 30 devotees. The sun was just rising over the distant hills, its rays gently diffusing through the morning to the light morning mist. Prabhupada walked steadily up the track, preceded by one of New Vrindavan's four-legged residents, a large black cow. At the house, the rest of the devotees, including the Gurukul children, lined up along the pathway to greet him. Prabhupada looked obviously content to return to the original house in which he had stayed in 1969, when he first came to New Vrindavan. Now it serves as a brahmachari ashram and the residence of the beautiful brass forms of Sri Radha Vrindavan Nath. After his darshan of the deities, Prabhupada gave class there at the house on Shriman Bhagavatam 7.6.14. His talk lasted only about 15 minutes. The verse described how a man who is too attached to family life cannot understand that by such activities he is wasting his time. Indeed, he does not develop a distaste for material existence even though he undergoes three kinds of suffering. Srila Prabhupada explained that there are two classes of men: the bogi, who is always trying to enjoy his mind and senses, and the yogi, who tries to give up his entanglement. Among the yogis, that person who engages in devotional service to Krishna is the best. He said that by yoga one achieves siddhi perfection. As an example of yogic siddhi, he cited something he had heard in his school days. In my childhood, there was my teacher. He said that he had his guru, a yogi. So he told me that his spiritual master, yogi, he inquired from his disciple, "What do you want to eat?" So he said that we wanted to eat some pomegranate from Kabul. So he said, "Yes, you can get it. Go into the room and you'll find." So they found a bunch of pomegranate just fresh from the tree. This is called Praptis Siddhi. Of course, he told us this kind of siddhi is material. It is not for the devotee, who alone can attain perfect satisfaction by surrender to Krishna. At the conclusion of class, Srila Prabhupada returned to the house for breakfast and a short rest. Radha Vallabha Das arrived in the afternoon after a visit to the printers in New York. Srila Prabhupada was from New Vrindavan to New York. Of course, you'll have to come to Pittsburgh from New Vrindavan and then take a bus. It's like 6 hours by bus from Pittsburgh to New Vrindavan. And so this devotee was involved with the BBT, Radha Vallabha Das arrived in the afternoon after a visit to the printers in New York. Srila Prabhupada was happily surprised to see Rishi Kumar Das with him, complete with shaven head. About a week after he had visited Prabhupada in Los Angeles, Rishi Kumar moved into the Laguna Beach temple, and now he has come to visit His Divine Grace again. So Prabhupada's serious words did have some effect. So Rishi Kumar Das, I cannot say it's certain, but he's probably one of the first devotees to come to South Africa. Two of them came, Shuri Prabhu, His Grace Shuri Prabhu, who is coming tonight, and Rishi Kumar. At that time he was a sannyasi, he was a Swami. But he left and he went back to America. So this could be the same Rishi Kumar Prabhu that has come to see Srila Prabhupada today. Prabhupada was very pleased to see him. I was surprised that how, Prabhupada says, I was surprised at how Rishi Kumar can fall down like this. I had so confidence of this boy from the very beginning. He was so nice, so pure. And Maya is so strong, but could not do very well. Maya very long. Thank Krishna and stay with us. Kaunteya pratijanahi name bhakta pranashyati. Declare it boldly that my devotee never perish. This is Krishna's mercy, special mercy. So always be calm and chant and pray to Krishna. Don't spoil this life. It is so valuable. The sense gratification can be available in every life. Cats and dogs also. Why should we sacrifice the greatest boon of human life? Hare Krishna. So this devotee Rishi Kumar Prabhu is very fortunate, again to meet Prabhupada and again come into a devotional service. Rishi Kumar told Prabhupada that although he had tried everything, he could not find any satisfaction equal to chanting. He had become bored with material life. So we understand Rishi Kumar Prabhu was probably one of the early disciples in ISKCON. Because when he came to South Africa with Shuri Prabhu, maybe 1970, 71, he was a sannyasi. He could have been in his 20s. So he most likely is one of the early disciples in the movement. And here he is saying, Rishi Kumar told Prabhupada that although he had tried everything, he could not find any satisfaction equal to chanting. He had become bored with material life. So originally he was in material life, then he came to Krishna consciousness, he renounced everything. Then he went back to material life. And now this is his realization. There's nothing equal to chanting Hare Krishna. And he had become bored with material life. So those of us who are thinking, let me try and enjoy again, we should hear Rishi Kumar Prabhu. Shri Shri Radha Radhanath ki jai. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. So here's a wonderful realization shared by a devotee who has experienced everything. He's saying he's become bored with material life. And he could not find any satisfaction equal to chanting. Of course, in America, there's full facility for sense gratification. Maybe last year I met one person at the temple that I serve in Spanish Fork, Utah. So he came and we were talking. I did a little presentation, and he says, no, like he wants to get involved in spiritual life. So I asked him, what are you doing? He told me he just got out of prison. Man just got out of prison. He has a car, he has a credit card. So in America, there's full opportunity for sense gratification. So here we find Rishi Kumar Prabhu, after leaving Krishna consciousness, which is not a prison, and it's total freedom, but he felt he could still enjoy outside. So he went, he enjoyed, and then he couldn't find any satisfaction. So this is a wonderful realization by an experienced person who got the hard knocks in life. See? Prabhupada told him the best thing would be to preach for some time with the Sankirtan party. He used his traveling companion as an example. Radha Vallabha, just see, young boy, how he is working hard. You were doing so many things at a time. In Bombay, you were doing Herculean tasks everywhere. He knows how to cook, how to give massage, how to keep accounts. Yes, qualified. How to cook, everything. So may Krishna save you. What can I say more? Prabhupada gave him positive encouragement. But when Rishi Kumar asked if he could take up his sannyas again, Srila Prabhupada, while not discouraging him, advised him to wait for some time and he would see. Radha Vallabha and he were scheduled to return to Los Angeles, but Srila Prabhupada suggested New York. Rishi Kumar decided to accept that, and he will return and go on the bus with Drishtadyumna Swami to New York after tomorrow's initiation ceremony. So this is a thing about sannyas. It's also mentioned in Bhagavatam that if you take sannyas and then you go back to married life, it is like vomiting and eating that vomit. It's a very serious thing. So we have to be educated. Prabhupada took the wonderful, I wouldn't say chance, but he took that opportunity to engage young boys in their 20s to take sannyas, because he wanted to speed up the Sankirtan movement. And sannyas means to travel and preach. And that's what Prabhupada did, and you see how successful he was. And actually when we do these things, when we go out preaching, we're planting seeds. And ordinarily in a field, when you go out and you plant seeds and you water the seeds, you'll also find some plants don't grow. Some plants take a very long time to fructify, but some grow as scheduled, immediate, or during that time when they meant to become mature and things like that. So this is what Prabhupada did. Some were excellent devotees, totally surrendered, and they achieved such great things in our movement. So Prabhupada did that, but now within our movement that has changed. No, probably now you can only take sannyas after 50 or something like that. Because when you're young, the senses are very strong. And even if you're in the best association, there's always a chance of being deviated, things like that. So, but Prabhupada, you could see how successful he was by initiating young boys as sannyasis. So we continue. Prabhupada also inquired, with the return of one of his former personal assistants, Srila Prabhupada mildly immediately dwelt on another. I am thinking of that boy also, Paramahamsa. He was a nice boy. Paramahamsa was another sannyasi secretary of His Divine Grace who who left less than a year ago. Prabhupada asked Radha Vallabha if his whereabouts were known. Radha Vallabha did not know. He is in Denver, Colorado. He is not doing good. Is it not possible to see him? Prabhupada asked. Trivikara Maharaj went to see him, but he was too much in illusion. Prabhupada wasn't concerned about his present temporary state. No, that is all right. Still, I want to see him. Prabhupada repeated twice more that this is a very nice boy, and they decided to contact him and invite him to come to New York for the Ratha Yatra and see Prabhupada. So this is how Prabhupada never forgets. So he asks about this boy who was sannyasi and he left. There's one pastime that I heard of a devotee speak during the 80s, somewhere in Europe, maybe in France. There was one lady who came to the temple, maybe I think it was in France, and she said, are your guys like the Hare Krishnas? And they said yes, and they asked her, why are you inquiring? And she said, my husband, at the time of his death, when he was in hospital, she went to see him. And she thought like her husband was talking to himself. But then she could realize he was talking to someone in the room. And he was saying, Prabhupada, you have come. Prabhupada, you have come. And she was looking around and she cannot see anyone else. There was no nurse, there was no doctor. But her husband was saying, Prabhupada, you have come. You have come. And she looked again and she could not see anyone. And then her husband passed away. And then I think she saw the devotees chanting on the street. And during the kirtan, they were chanting Jai Prabhupada, Jai Prabhupada. And then it clicked to her, and then she came to the devotees, and the devotees asked her, but okay, how did your husband know Prabhupada? And she said that my husband, when he was young, he was a Hare Krishna devotee. And apparently he took sannyas from Prabhupada, but then he left, he got married and things like that. And this was like maybe 10 or 20 years later, and he ended up in hospital and he died. So in this way, Prabhupada never forgets. See, we just have to be sincere. Although this devotee, he left, he was not actively involved in ISKCON, things like that. But Prabhupada, at the time of his death, came to him. And only he could see Prabhupada. So here we see that Prabhupada could still remember this boy who took sannyas and left. And he inquired, please bring him, I want to see him. Yes, continue. Radha Vallabha Prabhu had just delivered Sriman Bhagavatam 7 canto, part 3 to the printer. Now the BBT is working on the first part of the 8th canto. Radha Vallabha had several sketches from the artists for Srila Prabhupada to comment on. This was the system for putting pictures and paintings in Prabhupada books. At one point, Prabhupada requested that he inspect all the paintings and things like that. So they would bring the paintings for final approval and things like that. He asked Prabhupada if he would like to see them. Prabhupada tipped his head. Yes, that is the only life, to think of publication and distribution. Even in this weak condition, I am very weak nowadays, still I am working. So again, this is Prabhupada's life and soul. Printing, publication and distribution of books. And Prabhupada is saying at this time, I am very weak nowadays, still I am working. Nicely, Pushta Krishna added, He knows because he spends most of his days transcribing Prabhupada's output. Of course, Pushta Krishna Prabhu, we all know him. He is a pioneer here in South Africa. After Shruti Prabhu left, Pushta Krishna Prabhu came to South Africa. And he became the leader here, and then he began to recruit devotees from Europe and from US. So at this time in 1976, Pushta Krishna Prabhu was the personal servant and secretary for Prabhupada. And he used to transcribe Prabhupada's translations. I think I shall not be able to go for walks. This morning my heart was beating too much, Prabhupada told us. Pushta Krishna suggested he wait until we get to Washington and see how he feels then. The roads here are very rough, he said, and we are at a higher altitude also. Prabhupada accepted this idea. Yes, that we will do. After offering his input on the sketches, Prabhupada referred back to the other night when we went through all the predictions contained in the Srimad Bhagavatam. Who knew 5,000 years ago that people will keep long hairs and think themselves very beautiful? It is mentioned in the Bhagavata. How is it possible unless they can actually see what is going to happen? That is foretelling. It is not difficult. Just like tomorrow for my daily routine, what I shall do from the morning to evening, I can say. It is very difficult. Is it very difficult for me? So it is a question of Brahmas one day. So it can be said by them, not by us. So this is a very nice section. How Prabhupada is saying, yes, they could see 5,000 years ago. And these predictions are given in the 12th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam, chapter 2, Symptoms of Kali Yuga. So we'll read some of them, and we have to be careful, because we could be in it right now, or when the situation comes we should try and avoid it. So we'll read a few of the symptoms of Kali Yuga. One we've heard already. Men will think themselves very beautiful by keeping long hair. Right? So it's here in Bhagavatam. Sukadev Goswami said, this is from 12th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam, chapter 2, Symptoms of Kali Yuga. This is text 1. Sukadev Goswami said, then, O king, religion, truthfulness, cleanliness, tolerance, mercy, duration of life, physical strength, and memory will all diminish day by day because of the powerful influence of the age of Kali. So one of the symptoms here is cleanliness. Prabhupada was once asked in a television interview in San Francisco in 1975. The interviewer asked Prabhupada, why do you keep shaved heads? Why do you shave your hair? And Prabhupada said, no, it's just a cleanliness thing. We keep ourselves very clean. And also in this interview he mentioned that nowadays people or men think they can be, by keeping long hair they'll be very beautiful. And Prabhupada said, we are against that. Text 2. In Kali Yuga, wealth alone will be considered by the sign of a man's good birth, proper behavior and fine qualities. One's wealth, good birth, proper behavior and fine qualities. And law and justice will be applied only on the basis of one's power. And we practically see that in power, you can just bypass the law and justice. It's a fact. And we're only in the beginning of Kali Yuga. Men and women will live together merely because of superficial attraction, which is a fact. And success in business will depend on deceit. Womanliness and manliness will be judged according to one's expertise in sex. And a man will be known as a Brahmana just by wearing a thread. So this is also true. Womanliness and manliness will be judged according to one's expertise in sex. It's a fact. If one partner is not satisfied, they search out another one. And when it's found out, there's so much problems. It's a fact, 5,000 years ago, it is predicted. Text 4. A person's spiritual order will be ascertained merely according to external symbols. And on that same basis, people will change from one spiritual order to the next. A person's propriety will be seriously questioned if he does not earn a good living. And one who is very clever at jugglery of juggling words will be considered a learned scholar. Text 5. A person will be judged unholy if he does not have money. And hypocrisy will be accepted as virtue. Marriage will be arranged simply by verbal agreement. And a person will think he is fit to appear in public if he has merely taken a bath. It's all facts. Marriage will be arranged simply by verbal arrangement. A sacred place will be taken to consist of no more than a reservoir of water located at a distance. And beauty will be taught to depend on one's hairstyle. Beauty will be taught to depend on one's hairstyle. Same thing Prabhupada was speaking of. Filling the belly will become the goal of life. And one who is audacious will be accepted as truthful. And he who can maintain a family will be regarded as an expert man. And the principles of religion will be observed only for the sake of reputation. See? So it's a nice, same thing what Prabhupada is speaking is here. Beauty will be taught to depend on one's hairstyle. As the earth becomes crowded with corrupt population, whoever among the social classes shows himself to be the strongest will gain political power. Losing their wives and properties to such avaricious and merciless rulers who will behave no better than ordinary thieves, the citizens will flee to the mountains and forests. So be prepared for this. We have to be prepared to flee to the mountains and forests. Why? Because of merciless rulers. They will simply plunder everything. So we have to be prepared to become the real yogis in the Himalayas. Hare Krishna. Or any comments or questions you'd like to add on to the class? Oh, okay. Yes. We are fortunate to read this, and fortunate that Prabhupada has given us a Bhagavatam. Things will not get better, unfortunately. For we have to become serious in Krishna consciousness, try our best, and depend on the mercy of Prabhupada and the devotees. Okay. Srila Prabhupada ki jai.